now the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality says recent rains have helped stabilize its water network. It's just enough to delay the deployment of communal taps this weekend. The Metro will now be looking to roll out its contingency measures from Wednesday. Our reporter Natalie Malgas is in one of those affected suburbs now. Natalie, can you just bring us what's the latest coming out from those suburbs in terms of water supply?
Well, we've heard from the municipality that said about 40% of the metro will be affected by water shortages and water shedding that's expected to happen in the next few days. This because two of the main feeder dams that feeds and supplies water to the metro have been depleted. Although over the last 2 days, the metro has received some rainfall, and we're hearing from the municipality just this morning that that was enough to stabilize the system, just enough for at least the next 4 or so days, so that they can hold off with their contingency measures, which include the rollout of communal taps and water tankers that will be going into the western and southern communities of Gqeberha. In fact, that includes a neighborhood like Summerstrands, where we are right now. This is the popular beach strip that locals and visitors descend onto, and they flock here primarily for the nightlife and the other tourist attractions that exists on this promenade. But just listening to some of the locals before we went online was their fears about the fact that the tourism industry has taken quite a knock as a result of COVID and some of those restrictions that have gone along with the health crisis. And now they're facing a water crisis, and they fear that that may turn off some of the visitors that would have descended to this coastal town now for the school holidays.
That was my next question in terms of how is it now affecting a lot of the tourism. We know that school holidays are coming through, and just some of the businesses in that area, how are they being able to keep up?
Well, the business leaders that we've spoken to over the last few days have said it's quite a struggle. So they have pledged to be part of the solution. They've thrown quite a bit of money at some of those campaigns that are being rolled out by humanitarian aid group Gift of the Givers. Many of the big businesses here in the area have backed the Gift of the Givers campaigns and partnerships by either giving money or sponsoring JoJo tanks. We know Coca-Cola and some of the beverage companies here have sponsored water tankers. And then there's a salt manufacturer here in the city, Cerebos, that's actually turned part of its premises into a desalination plant so that they can produce water. And they're contributing 500,000 litres of water every day to Gift of the Givers. And that is also being distributed to several communities. We visited neighbourhoods like Galvin Dale and Malabar over the last week, where we've seen more boreholes being drilled. Gift of the Givers themselves have drilled at least half a dozen boreholes to just keep what remaining water infrastructure exists here alive and to tap into some of the water resources that may still exist. So the big business is backing this campaign to make sure that water infrastructure is protected and that this resource can remain being rolled out here. They have come on board in terms of just recognizing the urgency and the seriousness of this crisis. From the part of the administration, we've heard from the municipality that they too, apart from just judging the rainfall levels and the dam levels, they'll be rolling out those communal taps to various areas and more water tankers and setting up JoJo tanks. Because what we understand is 40% of the metro will be affected by the water shedding and the water shortages. That amounts to about 500,000 residents, people who live here in various communities in the west and south neighborhoods, but also, as we mentioned a short while ago, some of the visitors who have decided to visit PE and some of the neighboring towns over the next few weeks, because it is school holidays, there is some downtime, and they do want to enjoy the scenery and the coastal town that is Gqeberha. So there is a lot happening on the ground, particularly on the part of big business. The humanitarian aid group Gift of the Givers and the municipality has kicked in and kept its contingency measures in place.
Well, it certainly will be a collaborative effort in ensuring that water is restored as much as possible in that area. Thank you so much, Natalie Malgas. That is our reporter, Natalie Malgas, out in Gqeberha, giving us an update with regards to the water shortages experienced in those areas.